Hello, Dragons. This is Ms. McShane, the Counseling Programs Coordinator. And today, for your first Pride lesson of the year, we're going to talk about career planning. Now, before you get all stressed out about having to figure out your future career the first or second year of high school, I promise you that's not what we're asking of you. What we're going to do over the next few months is we're going to talk about how can you prepare in high school to have the best experience you possibly can, but at the same time, really becoming aware of what career options suit you well and are available, especially in the state of Georgia. And also, what can you do to maybe start preparing and thinking about getting ahead earlier to kind of get you out in the workforce earlier after you graduate? Because believe it or not, all of us are going to end up in the same place at some point in our life, which is the workforce. So, pretty much, there are three main ways that students will prepare for extra training after high school to prepare for the first career that they're going to begin. So we call those the three E's. So sometimes you'll be asked, well, which option or which 3E are you going to choose after graduation? Listen, you might change your mind several times during high school, and that's okay. We want you to explore a lot of different classes, participate in a lot of extracurricular activities to really kind of get self-aware about what's really your passion about. What can you make a good living doing, something that you love? But the three E's are enrollment, employment, and enlistment. So basically, enrollment is what you kind of think of as being enrolled in an institution like a college or a university or maybe an institute or an academy, and that's going to continue your education after high school to train for a very specific career that requires a certain amount of years of training. Many students are discovering that they can enter the workforce right after graduation without having to have a lot of additional college training. Thankfully, a lot of the new careers that are emerging allow you to train in high school, so you're kind of ready to go. But what we want to make sure you do is have a self sustaining salary. That means that you can be an independent financial person, that you're not relying on anybody else to help kind of pay your bills. But we also want you to find a job with a great work environment that offers tuition and education reimbursement if you choose to go back to college to learn different skills later on. But also, we want you to be able to grow and move up with that company as you age. The last E is enlistment in one of the branches of the United States military or government agencies. This is an amazing resource that we're going to talk a lot about this year, and you're going to do a lot of research from the georgiafutures.org website. So, we're going to highlight how to get a student account later on in this presentation, but I want you to be aware that this is a great resource for research, and it's by the Georgia Student Finance Commission. You'll see the tabs at the top, excuse me, have a lot of information about college planning, career exploration, and lots of resources that you can have as you continue your journey about discovering about the three E's. Because research is really huge and really going to be important for you over the next few years. Some of the things that you're going to be asked to look at are what types of careers are available for you, especially the new ones that are being formed in Georgia. We're lucky in Georgia because we have a super strong economy, and a lot of corporations and industries are coming to Georgia because of that great work environment. You're also going to look at which career clusters or jobs are best suited for your abilities and interests. Now, you probably remember taking some U Science assessments and maybe even doing some activities with that last year. So, if you're in 10th grade, you're actually going to take the high school assessment. And if you're in ninth grade, we're going to look back at your 8th grade results, unless you're new. And if you are, welcome to Jefferson. But if you are new, we'll probably get you to take the high school assessment too, because we're going to build a lot of our future Pride lessons off of our U Science. And through that youth science, we're going to look at the careers that you're interested in that have a lot of growth, which that just means that there's going to be a job waiting for you once you're ready to enter that workforce. But where you're going to kind of work with your family to answer questions such as, well, how much time do I really want to invest in training before I'm ready to go into the world of work? Do I want to spend 8 years in college getting a doctorate, or do I just want to spend maybe a semester or maybe even 4 years just getting a bachelor's degree? We're also going to spend some time talking about what type of training can you afford. Listen, student loans are no joke, so we're going to give you lots of great guides and tools on how to make college training very affordable and making good decisions with how much of an investment you put into the type of training you need. But we're also going to talk about what careers have salaries that support the kind of lifestyle you want. Lifestyle is things like, what do you see yourself living in a few years? Is it a house? Do you want to rent? Do you want a car? Do you want to have extra money to spend on arts and entertainment? Do you want a family? Do you want to travel? So these are all kinds of things that cost money. So we have to kind of budget and see how much does my lifestyle cost, and then what kind of career can I prepare for that's going to help me be financially independent with that lifestyle that I'm hoping to have. And if you look on the right side of the screen, these are some of the tools that we're going to use with that career exploration. We've already mentioned Georgia Futures. We've talked about UScience, and also there's a research tool called My Next Move, which we'll talk about later on in the year. So let's go back to that salary. $7.25 is what the Georgia and the federal minimum wage is. That's really not a lot of money, unfortunately. I know it sounds pretty good where you might be sitting right now, but if you really look at it as a student who's graduated high school and is now independent, trying to pay the bills all by themselves, a minimum wage job for a 40-hour work week is going to be about an annual salary of a little over $15,000. So if we look at what's called the federal poverty level for 2022, what that shows us is that people that live within a certain salary range below around $14,000 is considered in that poverty range, which means that they're really living paycheck to paycheck and having a very difficult time finding resources just to meet the minimum standard of living. Now, if you live in Jackson County, the average individual income is about $14 per hour, almost twice the amount of a minimum wage. And it still costs around $29,000 just to meet basic expenses in Jackson County. So these are the kind of salary ranges that I want you to be thinking about when we start looking at things that might be important to you to discover for your career. So let's kind of jump into if enrollment is your first option. Some of the things that we're going to learn is how to make sure a college environment is a good fit for you. So, first of all, did you prepare in high school in order to meet the admissions requirements? Do they kind of have a really fun culture, which they might have some good extracurricular activities and maybe job training, apprenticeships that you can really get immersed in once you're on that college campus? Do they have career placement available for you after you graduate? And is it financially affordable and helping you meet your goals? There are lots of ways that you can earn college credit while you're in high school, which is going to save you time earning that degree, and it's also going to save you tuition money. You can actually earn technical certificates by taking dual enrollment core credits or technical core credits during high school that transfer to your college after graduation. It's super important that you're going to protect your high school HOPE GPA. Right now, you may not know if you're going to stay in the state of Georgia for any college training, but if you do, the HOPE scholarship will help pay a great portion of your college tuition. For right now, for example, seniors will actually have 100% of their HOPE tuition paid for if they meet the 3.0 GPA requirement in all of their core classes. So we're going to talk a little bit about Hope grant options too. So grant options pay for technical college certificates or diplomas. And the great thing about that is there isn't a GPA associated with that. And there's even a Hope career grant that can cover tuition for what we call high demand careers. So if you want to go to a technical college and earn a diploma or a certificate, you can pretty much get that paid for if you know what you're doing in high school. And then there's also a lot of financial resources for paying for college tuition as well. If enlistment is your first option, you have several choices for the military branches of the United States. But there are some steps that you need to take for planning to enlist. One consideration is, do I plan on going to college at some point to train for a career? And if I do I want to enlist before I go to college, or do I want to do it after? So, one of the benefits for going to college before you enlist is you might be able to have your college paid for with an ROTC scholarship. So, that means you're committing to enlist for a certain amount of years after you graduate college. But one of the benefits for that is you usually enter in as a higher rank and earn a higher salary than you do if you enlist right out of high school. But if you do choose to enlist out of high school, there's some great benefits to that too. They're going to train you for specific careers. You're going to learn all kinds of amazing career skills. And then if you decide to go to college if you want to enter this what we call the civilian life after your military career is complete, then you have the GI Bill that will help offset a lot of your tuition and your collegiate costs as well. So that's kind of a win-win however you want to do that. One of the things that you'll have to do in high school to prepare for enlistment either way is to take the ASVAB, and that's the Armed Services Vocational Aptitude Battery. It is open to grades 10 to 12. We do actually recommend that juniors and seniors focus on that because 10th graders, while you can take it and get some practice, your results are not going to be transferable to a recruiter. So they want you to be at least a junior or senior before they take a good hard look at those results to see what kind of careers and what kind of military branch placement might be suited best for you. We will be offering that at Jefferson on Valentine's Day in February. We do have recruiter outreach as well. Anytime that you're interested in having a recruiter answer some of your questions, we can certainly bring a presentation to Jefferson High School. And also, the recruiters come and visit our campus quite frequently to talk to individual students. If employment is your first option, again, going back to that dual enrollment, that basically dual enrollment is when you are taking college classes and it's free of charge and you're earning college credits on your college transcript and high school credits towards graduation from high school. So the dual enrollment can help you gain a specific certificate or a diploma program that you can go right into the world of work with that college behind you right after you graduate. You can also complete a career technical ag education high school pathway. If you remember that a pathway at high school is a combination of three classes that build on each other. And in some cases, many of those pathways result in a certification that you can take that gives you a workforce industry credential, especially, for example, in health occupations area and in technology. We'll also be working with students who want to go straight into the workforce on creating resumes, polishing your interview skills, learning how to get recommendation letters, and we have lots of opportunities for job fairs with local industries. A couple of programs that we have that are on campus in partnership with Lanier Tech, and you can do as early as 10th grade, is the Engineering Technology Fundamentals. If you see over here, it's a combination of a couple of math classes and a couple of engineering classes. So the math classes you would probably take as a junior and senior, but you can start your engineering classes as early as 10th grade. And the great benefit about this program that's on campus, so it fits really nicely into your schedule, but 3 out of those 4 classes will transfer to the University System of Georgia. So if you want to go get your bachelor's degree, you'll already have 2 math credits and 1 engineering class to go on your college transcript. So that saves you time. Another program that we're bringing to campus this year, we started a program similar to this last year, but this year we have several students who will be taking Firefighter 1. So within one block each semester, they'll be taking 4 classes. And at the end of that, they'll take a national board certification exam and they can become a firefighter and go straight into the world of work. So these are some examples of how you can prepare in high school if you want to go straight into the world of work. So this handout right here has been attached into your Pride lesson as well, but I just kind of wanted to cover a couple things. This is a quick guide and it's like a timeline on some things to consider every couple of months during your ninth and 10th grade year. So if we kind of look at August and September, something that's real important is go out and join some clubs, get involved in some activities because you're learning skills, you're meeting people, you're going to interact with some adults that might open some doors or write some letters for you someday. Again, we want you to open up that student account at georgiafutures.org, and we'll hit that in a quick minute. We want you to understand the types of GPA and monitor your progress. And we're actually going to have a separate lesson on this because that's so very important. 10th graders, again, we mentioned earlier, you're going to be taking your U Science assessment around September. And ninth and 10th graders are invited to the probe fair on August the 29th. So that's next week. And basically, we'll have a lesson on Thursday that helps you understand what the probe fair is and how to get the most out of your time in experience with that event. It's also real important to kind of get to know your assigned counselor. These are wonderful individuals with a lot of experience that can help you with your academic, any social emotional concerns you have, and all of your career planning. And I kind of help support them and you too. So if we look at October, November, 10th graders will be taking the PSAT on October the 18th. Again, we'll have some pride lessons every month. We'll talk about dual enrollment along with your GPA. This right down here, if you are not sure if you might qualify for free or reduced lunch, I really encourage you to go ahead and complete the lunch applications. And if you're not real sure how to get those, if you come up to Student Services, we can help you with that. But the benefits, if you do qualify, is especially when it comes to SAT and ACT testing and scholarships. There's so many things that are available to help you earn money for college if you do qualify for free and reduced lunch. So if you're not sure and you have questions about that, you're welcome to email me or come speak with your counselors and we can clarify that. So if we look over to January and February, again, we're looking at keeping your grades up. We're going to start talking about registration for your next school year. I always recommend that around this time of year, get a binder, like a 3-ring binder, so you can keep all of the great things that you're doing, awards, report cards, test scores. You keep it all in one place. Because I promise you, when that junior, senior year rolls around, you're going to be very grateful you've got all of your awards in one place. It's also real important to not forget how stressful high school can be, especially if you are a ninth grader. Man, that's a big transition year, and there's so much going on. And I do promise you that by the second semester, you'll have it all under control. But I know these first few months can be a little bit stressful while you're figuring that out. So don't hesitate to check in with your counselor, and just if you got a vent or you've got some problem solving, we can help you with that. So we want to keep that stress level under control. Again, we want to make sure you're hanging in there with your extracurriculars. We're going to talk a little bit about financial aid awareness. Even if you're in ninth grade, it's so important the earlier you start thinking about college savings, the better. Even if you change your mind, that savings is still going to be there for you to fall back on. April and May, we're going to be talking again about more dual enrollment options. Think about visiting colleges maybe over spring break. It's never too early to do that. Finishing strong with your grades is huge and very, very important. And then if you're in 10th grade, we're going to start talking about that junior year of ACT and SAT testing if you're considering college. So hopefully that will just give you and your parents a little guideline on some things that you can do to be really successful in ninth and 10th grade. Again, we're going to fall back on the Georgia Futures. I'm going to actually include that in a separate clip, but I'm going to show you how to set up your student account. And once we do that, there's also going to be a quick response survey that I'm sending you in a separate link. Just few questions. If you can just log on that and give me your feedback, that will really help us plan and make sure that we're getting you the information that you like. Thank you for being so patient with us. I know this was a lot of information. I just want to give you an overview to get you start thinking about all the resources that you have in high school to start thinking about planning your future. I hope y'all have a wonderful day.